You cannot be serious, Zixtal chittered, their antennae twitching in what their species considered the universal sign of absolutely not happening. I've heard the stories about that death world. There's no way I'm— Oh, you're doing it. Their supervisor, Manager Kalax, interrupted with the particular tone of someone who had dealt with this exact conversation roughly 8,000 times before. The route's yours. Congratulations on the promotion. Promotion? This isn't a promotion, it's a death sentence. They drink poison for fun. Have you seen what they consider mild seasoning? The atmospheric readings alone are perfectly within acceptable parameters for our environmental suits, Kalax finished, all four eyes fixed on their holoscreen rather than their increasingly agitated subordinate. Look, I get it. Everyone panics when they get assigned to Earth. It's practically a tradition at this point. But you know what else is a tradition? Those traders coming back with profit margins that make the board's mandibles quiver with joy. Zixtal slumped in their chair, their exoskeleton making a faint clicking sound against the crystalline furniture. But they're humans. Yes, and? They strap themselves to controlled explosions for entertainment. They deliberately seek out activities that could kill them. Zixtal's voice dropped to a horrified whisper. They eat things that are still alive. Kalax finally looked up from their screen, mandibles twitching in what might have been amusement. Ah, yes, the infamous oysters incident. That report made for some fascinating reading. Did you know the human in question actually tried to explain that the mollusks weren't technically alive anymore because they'd been freshly shucked? As if that made it better. This isn't funny! I've seen the medical reports. Do you know what they do when one of their load-bearing bones breaks? They just keep walking on it. They call it walking it off. What kind of madness is that? The kind of madness that makes them excellent trading partners. Kalax replied smoothly. Think about it logically, Zixtal. Yes, they're terrifying deathworlders who consider chronic sleep deprivation a normal state of existence and voluntarily consume neurotoxins to help them achieve basic functionality. But they're also the only species we've encountered who can comprehend our crystalline technology on an intuitive level. Because they have some bizarre cultural obsession with shiny rocks. Precisely. And what do we trade in? Zixtal's antennae drooped. Advanced crystalline technology, which humans call space bling. Zixtal muttered, somehow managing to make the human term sound like a personal insult. Exactly. They're perfect customers. They understand the technology, they have the resources to trade for it, and they're absolutely fascinated by anything that sparkles. Do you know how rare that combination is? But, no more buts. Your first shipment leaves in 3 cycles. Here's your briefing package. Kalax tapped their screen, sending a burst of data to Zixtal's personal device. I suggest you spend that time studying human customs, particularly their obsession with this thing called small talk. Apparently, it's considered rude not to engage in pointless conversation about atmospheric conditions before conducting business. Zixtal scrolled through the briefing package with increasing horror. They expect me to participate in something called coffee? But this says it's a stimulant, a deliberately mind-altering substance. Oh, that reminds me. Whatever you do, don't accept anything they call decaf. They consider offering it to be a grave insult, though no one's quite sure why. The xenoanthropologists are still debating that one. 3 cycles later, Zixtal found themselves approaching Earth's orbit, their ship's holds packed with the finest crystalline tech their corporation had to offer. They'd spent the entire journey studying human customs, but somehow, they felt less prepared now than when they'd started. The orbital control officer's voice crackled over the comm. Trading vessel Crystalline Dawn, you are cleared for landing at Newark Spaceport, Pad 7B. Please acknowledge. Acknowledged, Control, Zixtal responded, trying to keep their mandibles from clicking nervously. Request confirmation of environmental parameters? There was a pause, then what sounded suspiciously like a laugh. First time to Earth, huh? Don't worry, your environmental suit will handle everything just fine. Though you might want to dial up the shock absorption. There's a baseball game next door to the spaceport today. Baseball. That's the one with the wooden clubs and the projectiles, correct? That's the one. Don't worry, though. The containment fields are rated for way worse than a foul ball. We haven't lost a ship to sports-related incidents in at least 6 months. That's not as reassuring as you seem to think it is. The landing itself went smoothly enough, though Zixtal couldn't help but notice their landing pad was suspiciously close to what appeared to be some sort of ritual combat arena. The rhythmic chanting of the assembled humans was clearly audible even through their suits' audio dampeners. Their first customer was scheduled to arrive in approximately 1 local hour, giving Zixtal time to set up their display cases and triple-check their suits' environmental seals. They had just finished arranging the last crystal matrix when a human walked in, or rather, practically bounced in, radiating an energy level that made Zixtal's threat sensors ping in alarm. Oh my god! The human's eyes went wide behind their protective lenses. Is that a quantum-aligned resonance matrix, in rose quartz? Ah, yes, Zixtal replied, falling back on their training. This particular piece. It's pink! The human actually clapped their hands together in excitement. Do you have any idea how perfect this is? Pink is totally in this season, and quantum accessories are all the rage since that article in Vogue Galactic. Zixtal's antennae twitched in confusion. I was about to explain its technical specifications. Oh honey, no need. I read the specs already. Had my augmented reality contacts run a full scan the moment I walked in. The crystalline structure is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. Did you know you can actually use these as emergency quantum computers in a pinch? My friend Sarah had to calculate a wormhole trajectory using her quantum earrings once when her ship's nav system went down. Saved her whole crew! Though the energy requirements did make the earrings change color. Actually, that turned out to be a huge trendsetter. Everyone wanted color-changing quantum jewelry after that. Zixtal found themselves being swept along in a tornado of enthusiasm and technical knowledge that they hadn't been prepared for. The human, who eventually introduced themselves as Dr. Jamie Chen, quantum fashionista and part-time wormhole physicist, proceeded to purchase not only the rose quartz matrix, but also 3 other pieces they insisted would totally complete the look. You know, Dr. Chen said as they were arranging payment, you should really consider setting up a permanent booth at Fashion Week. Your crystal tech would be perfect for the quantum couture crowd. What? Oh, right. Sorry, sometimes I forget not everyone follows the fashion scene. Fashion Week is this huge event where... They were interrupted by a tremendous roar from the nearby stadium, followed by the distinctive crack of a baseball meeting a bat at high velocity. Zixtal instinctively ducked. Don't worry, Dr. Chen laughed. The containment fields will catch anything that comes our way. Though that reminds me, you might want to consider marketing some of your smaller crystal matrices as baseball protection charms. The quantum field they generate might not actually stop a baseball, but they're pretty enough that no one will care. By the end of their first Earth day, Zixtal had sold more crystal tech than they usually moved in a full cycle, learned more about human fashion than they had ever wanted to know, and somehow agreed to attend something called a tailgate party before the next day's baseball game. Don't worry, their last customer of the day had assured them. The grilled foods are all fully dead before cooking. Well, except for the lobster. But you can skip that if it makes you uncomfortable. Though you really should try the hot dogs. They're made of... Actually, maybe it's better if I don't explain what they're made of. Just trust me, they're delicious. That evening, safely back in their ship, Zixtal sent a message to Kallax. You were right about the humans being good customers. Wrong about literally everything else. They're not terrifying Deathworlders. They're insane Deathworlders. The difference is important. Also, I may have accidentally become a fashion influencer. Send more rose quartz matrices. Apparently pink is in this season. P.S. Do not research what hot dogs are made of. Trust me on this. Well, the response came back almost immediately. Told you so. About the customers, I mean. I learned about hot dogs the hard way last cycle. Still having nightmares. But wait until you try coffee. It's actually not bad once you get used to the feeling of your nervous system trying to achieve liftoff. Sending more stock your way. Try to keep the fashion industry from starting any quantum singularities this time. This time? Zixtal sent back. What do you mean, this time? Oh, right. That was after your time. Let's just say there's a reason the Geneva Convention had to add a clause about runway shows and quantum accessories. Did you know humans actually made their planetary defense grid more fashionable after that incident? Apparently, if something's going to protect you from invasion, it should at least look fabulous while doing it. Zixtal looked out their viewport at the glittering lights of Newark, where humans went about their daily lives, surrounded by technology that could tear reality apart, drinking their liquid stimulants, and apparently wearing quantum computers as fashion statements. In the distance, another roar went up from the baseball stadium, followed by the distinctive sound of the containment field catching what must have been a particularly enthusiastic foul ball. Maybe, just maybe, they were going to enjoy this assignment after all. Though they were definitely going to pass on the hot dogs. 6 months later, Zixtal sat in Kalax's office again, but this time they were the one radiating smugness, while their supervisor stared at the profit reports in disbelief. How did you convince the human military to buy our entire stock of high-frequency resonance crystals? Oh, I didn't sell them as military tech, Zixtal replied, sipping their coffee with the casual air of someone who had not only conquered their fear of human stimulants, but had developed a concerning addiction to something called a caramel macchiato. I marketed them as tactical bling. Kalax's antennae went completely still. You did what now? Tactical bling. You know how humans have that saying about something being so crazy it just might work? Well, it turns out their military operates on exactly that principle. Did you know they actually have a budget specifically for things that sound ridiculous but end up being awesome? Apparently, it's their most successful research and development program. But these are highly sophisticated pieces of quantum technology. Yes. And now every human special forces operator has one incorporated into their combat accessories. They call it looking fabulous while kicking ass. The Marines were particularly enthusiastic. Something about finally having an excuse to add glitter to their dress uniforms. Kalax made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. The board is going to have a fit when they read this report. Oh, please, Zixtal waved the appendage dismissively. The board's going to be too busy rolling in profits to care. Besides, wait until they hear about my next proposal. The humans want to know if we can develop a line of quantum-enhanced sports equipment. Apparently they want to start a new baseball league where the balls can phase through solid matter. That's not possible. Is it? With humans? I've learned not to use that word. Did I tell you about the time I watched a human calculate a faster-than-light trajectory using nothing but a quantum necklace and what they called vibes? When I asked them to explain the math, they just said, "The crystals know what's up," and somehow it worked. Kalax stared at their now empty coffee cup. I think I need something stronger than coffee for this conversation. Oh, have you tried Red Bull? The humans gave me some. It's like coffee but more aggressive. Zixtal. Yes? You've gone native, haven't you? Zixtal adjusted their newly acquired quantum-enhanced sunglasses, purely for the aesthetic, of course, and grinned. Maybe a little, but you have to admit it's working out pretty well for everyone involved. The humans get their shiny tech, we make unprecedented profits, and next week I'm teaching a seminar on quantum fashion, where science meets style at MIT. You're teaching at one of their educational institutions? Oh yes. Apparently my paper on the convergence of quantum mechanics and fashion theory, a postmodern approach to looking fabulous while breaking physics, was very well received, though I think they were most impressed by the fact that all my research samples double as accessories. Kalax just shook their head. Just try not to start any more quantum fashion revolutions, okay? The paperwork from the last one was a nightmare. No promises, Zixtal replied cheerfully. But look on the bright side. At least I've managed to avoid learning what hot dogs are made of. And that's how I ended up with an honorary doctorate in quantum fashion engineering, Zixtal explained to the wide-eyed group of junior traders gathered in the Earth Trading Corps break room. Though I still maintain the humans only created that degree because they needed somewhere to file my research papers. One of the newer traders raised an appendage nervously. But is it true what they say about the Super Bowl contract? Zixtal's antennae twitched in what had become their equivalent of a human grin. Oh, that's actually a funny story. They were interrupted by Kalax bursting into the room, all four eyes wild with what could only be described as bureaucratic panic. Zixtal, what did you do? You'll have to be more specific, Zixtal replied, taking a sip from their world's most fashionable alien trader mug, a gift from their MIT students. I do a lot of things, most of them profitable. Some of them slightly reality-bending, all of them technically legal in at least 3 jurisdictions. The quantum cheerleading uniforms, Zixtal. Explain the quantum cheerleading uniforms. Ah, that. Zixtal brightened. Well, you see, after the success of the Tactical Bling program, which we are still getting concerned inquiries about from the Galactic Peace Council, by the way, I was approached by the NFL about possibly enhancing their entertainment division. Did you know humans have these elaborate pre-game and halftime shows? Fascinating stuff. Anyway, one thing led to another, and now we have reports of cheerleaders performing anti-gravity routines that technically violate several laws of physics. Only the boring ones, Zixtal protested. Besides, the quantum field harmonics created by their synchronized movements are actually helping to stabilize local space-time. We're calling it Project Pep Rally Paradox. The humans are writing several papers about it for their physics journals. The junior traders were watching this exchange with a mixture of horror and admiration. Oh yes, Zixtal perked up. That was actually an unexpected side benefit. Turns out humans learn complex multidimensional physics much better when you explain it through choreography. Something about kinesthetic learning and making science fabulous. We're seeing a 300% increase in physics comprehension rates among teenagers. Though we did have that minor incident with the marching band. Minor incident? Kalax's voice rose an octave. They created a temporary quantum singularity during the halftime show, which they immediately contained using the power of coordinated dance moves and quantum-enhanced instruments, Zixtal pointed out. You have to admit, it was very impressive. The judges gave them perfect scores. That's not the point. The board is surprisingly okay with all this, which somehow makes it worse. Do you know what they told me this morning? They want to expand the program. They're talking about something called Quantum Olympics. The room went silent. Even Zixtal's antennae froze mid-twitch. They want to what now? Apparently some humans approached them with a proposal. Something about taking sports to the next level and breaking the laws of physics for gold medals. They seemed very excited about the possibility of quantum-enhanced pole vaulting. Zixtal set down their coffee mug carefully. That's actually not the worst idea I've heard. Think about it. We already know humans can handle quantum tech intuitively. They've proven they can manage the safety protocols, even if their methods are a bit unconventional. And just imagine the marketing possibilities. Marketing possibilities? Kalax asked weakly. Oh yes, picture this. Quantum sports, where physics comes to play. We could develop an entire line of consumer-grade quantum-enhanced sporting goods. Baseball bats with probability manipulation fields. Tennis rackets that can create micro-wormholes. Basketball shoes with limited levitation capabilities. Absolutely not, Kalax declared. No way, the board cannot possibly. Zixtal's communicator chimed. They checked it and their antennae curled in delight. The board just approved my preliminary proposal. They're particularly interested in my idea for quantum-enhanced figure skating. Something about making triple axels look boring by comparison. But, Kalax slumped into a chair. How are you going to ensure safety protocols? The regulatory requirements alone? Oh, that's the brilliant part, Zixtal said, practically bouncing with enthusiasm. We're going to let the human bureaucrats handle all that. Apparently they have entire departments dedicated to writing rules for increasingly improbable scenarios. They call it learning from experience. Did you know they have specific regulations about what happens if someone tries to use a quantum-enhanced baseball bat to hit a baseball through yesterday? Why would they? No, never mind. I don't want to know. Kalax looked around at the junior traders, who were furiously taking notes. And what are all of you writing? Oh, I'm running a seminar series, Zixtal explained. Teaching Quantum Trade 101, How to Profit from Human Imagination. It's become quite popular. We're even offering certificates in human-centric quantum marketing. Human-centric quantum. You know what? Fine. But when the humans inevitably figure out how to use quantum sports equipment to accidentally create a new form of faster-than-light travel, you're the one who has to explain it to the Physics Preservation Council. Already handled. I've got a PowerPoint presentation ready to go, complete with animated slides and something the humans call sandwich analytics. Apparently, if you present complex theoretical physics while providing food, governing bodies are 73% more likely to approve your proposals. One of the junior traders raised their hand again. Is it true that you're working with something called the X Games to develop quantum-enhanced skateboarding? Working on it, though we're having some trouble with the temporal wake effects. Turns out doing a kickflip through space-time creates some interesting paperwork challenges. But the humans have been very understanding. They just added a new checkbox to their insurance forms. Temporal displacement due to sick tricks. Kalax made a sound that suggested their soul was trying to escape their exoskeleton. Please tell me you at least haven't taught them about the resonance crystal's ability to interface with parallel universes? Oh, they figured that out on their own. Something about wanting to organize multiversal sports tournaments. They're calling it the Quantum Bowl. The logo is very nice. It's a football passing through several dimensions simultaneously. The board approved this? The board loved it, especially after I showed them the projected merchandise sales figures. Did you know humans will buy anything if you put the word quantum on it and make it sparkle? We're already developing a line of quantum-enhanced water bottles. They don't actually do anything except look pretty, but the waiting list is 6 months long. Another junior trader spoke up hesitantly. But what about the risk of accidentally creating a sports-based unified theory of everything? Already happening. 3 graduate students at MIT derived a new understanding of quantum gravity from analyzing a particularly enthusiastic cheerleading routine. They're publishing the paper next month in Nature, Quantum Athletics Edition. Kallax looked like they were developing a headache. I suppose I should just be grateful you haven't introduced them to quantum-enhanced competitive cooking shows? Actually, funny you should mention that. Zixtal's communicator chimed again. Oh, excuse me, I need to take this. The Food Network wants to discuss something they're calling Quantum Kitchen, where molecular gastronomy meets quantum physics. As Zixtal hurried out of the room, already chattering excitedly about quantum-enhanced flavor profiles and taste sensations that exist in superposition, Kallax turned to address the junior traders. Let this be a lesson to all of you, they said solemnly. Never, ever underestimate humanity's ability to turn absolutely anything into entertainment. And if you value your sanity, don't let them near any technology they might decide would look better with glitter on it. One of the traders raised their hand. But sir, isn't the new galactic defense grid covered in— Yes, Kallax sighed. Yes, it is. Zixtal convinced them that if they had to build a shield around their solar system, it might as well be fabulous. I believe their exact words were, defense with style, because even alien invasions should be fashion-forward. From down the hall, they could hear Zixtal enthusiastically explaining to someone how quantum-enhanced cooking utensils could technically create food that existed in multiple flavor states simultaneously. This was followed by the distinct sound of a human television producer having their mind blown. Kallax looked at their empty coffee cup and wondered if it was too early to switch to something stronger. Maybe that Red Bull stuff Zixtal kept talking about. No, that way lay madness. Though given how things were going, madness might actually be a career advantage in Earth trading these days. After all, you had to be at least a little bit crazy to keep up with humans. And somehow, impossibly, Zixtal had figured out how to turn that crazy into profit. Kallax made a mental note to enroll in the next session of Quantum Trade 101, just in case. Though they were definitely going to skip the section on quantum-enhanced hot dogs. Some mysteries of human culture, they decided, were better left unexplored. Quantum tick-tock, Kallax said slowly, each word dripping with a mixture of disbelief and resignation. You gave them quantum tick-tock. Zixtal adjusted their quantum-enhanced business suit, which existed in a superposition of 3 different fashion trends simultaneously, and shrugged. In my defense, they were going to figure it out eventually. I just helped them skip the accidentally creating time paradoxes through viral dance challenges phase. And how's that working out? Well, the good news is that teenage humans have essentially solved most of the major problems in quantum physics through the power of synchronized dancing and something they call memes. And the bad news? We're still trying to explain to the Time Variance Authority why last Tuesday now technically happened 3 times, and why all 3 versions were trending on social media. They were sitting in what had once been Kallax's office, but had somehow evolved into a combination of a quantum physics lab, a fashion studio, and what humans called a content creation space. Holographic displays showed various Earth social media feeds, each one more physics-defying than the last. Oh look, Zixtal said brightly, pointing to one of the screens. Remember that quantum cheerleading squad? They just used their routine to prove string theory. Apparently, it's all about the right dance moves in 11 dimensions simultaneously. Who knew? Kallax stared at a different screen. Are those humans using quantum-enhanced cooking shows to explore the nature of reality? Oh yes. Quantum Kitchen Multiverse Edition is one of our highest-rated shows. Turns out cooking across parallel universes really adds something special to the flavor profile. Though we did have that minor incident with the quantum-enhanced ghost peppers. Do I want to know? Probably not. Let's just say they're still trying to convince that particular parallel universe that we meant no harm, and that the spontaneous combustion was purely accidental. A junior trader burst into the office, antennae quivering with excitement. Have you seen the latest numbers from the Quantum Olympics? The quantum pole vaulting final broke viewing records across 17 dimensions. Only 17? Zixtal frowned. We'll have to work on that for next season. Maybe add some glitter to the quantum field harmonizers. No! Kallax interjected. No more glitter. The cleanup from the last quantum glitter incident took 3 weeks and created a temporary rainbow nebula in Earth's orbit. Which, I might add, has become a major tourist attraction, Zixtal pointed out. The humans are calling it the Fabulous Formation. They're selling tickets for quantum-enhanced cruises through it. The junior trader's communicator chimed. They checked it and their antennae went straight up in surprise. You might want to see this. The humans have just submitted a proposal for something they're calling Quantum Reality TV. Kallax made a sound like a dying star. Please tell me they're not planning to create an entire television network that broadcasts shows from multiple realities simultaneously? With real-time quantum voting across dimensions? Zixtal was already scrolling through the proposal on their quantum-enhanced tablet, which somehow managed to display information in colors that didn't technically exist. Oh, this is brilliant. They want to start with the Real Housewives of the Multiverse. The board will never approve. The board already approved it, the junior trader announced. They're particularly excited about the merchandising possibilities. Apparently, humans will pay premium prices for products that technically don't exist in their current reality. Of course they will, Kallax muttered. And I suppose you're already working on a line of quantum-enhanced reality TV viewing accessories? Obviously. We're calling it the Quantum Couch Potato Collection. It lets viewers experience all possible outcomes of their favorite shows simultaneously, while enjoying snacks that exist in quantum superposition. The snacks exist in what? Don't worry, we solved the Schrödinger's snack problem. Mostly. Though we're still working out some issues with the quantum-enhanced popcorn. Turns out if you observe it too closely, it either becomes unpopped or turns into a small quantum singularity that tastes like butter. The junior trader raised their hand tentatively. Is it true what they're saying about the quantum gaming division? Zixtal's antennae curled in what had become their proud inventor pose. Oh yes. Turns out humans are surprisingly good at managing quantum computing when you present it in the form of video games. They've already optimized our entire interstellar shipping network through something they call Quantum Tetris. Logistics Edition. But how? Best not to ask too many questions about that one, though I will say, the memes that emerged from it have become required study material at several prestigious physics institutions. Kallax was staring at yet another screen, this one showing what appeared to be a quantum-enhanced cat video. Please tell me that cat isn't actually existing in 9 dimensions simultaneously. Oh, that's just Professor Whiskers. He's become quite the quantum physics celebrity. Did you know he accidentally proved the many worlds interpretation while chasing a quantum-enhanced laser pointer? The physics community is still trying to process the implications, though not as much as they're trying to process his TikTok following. Another alert chimed, and Zixtal's antennae shot up in excitement. Oh, the proposals for Quantum Fashion Week just came in. They want to hold simultaneous shows across multiple realities, with quantum-enhanced runway walks that transcend space-time. No, Kallax said firmly. Absolutely not. We are not letting human fashion designers play with the fabric of reality. Too late. They're already calling it Fashion Forward, Quantum Edition. The slogan is, where style breaks physics, though we're still working on preventing the models from accidentally creating temporal causality loops when they do their turns at the end of the runway. The junior trader was frantically taking notes. But what about the regulatory implications? Oh, that's the best part, Zixtal said cheerfully. The humans have created an entire new branch of bureaucracy specifically for dealing with quantum fashion-related reality breaches. They're calling it the Department of Temporal Fashion Compliance. Their paperwork exists in a quantum superposition of being both filed and unfiled until someone actually needs to reference it. That's not how bureaucracy is supposed to work, Kallax protested. Tell that to the humans, though you'll have to figure out which version of the department currently exists in this timeline. Last I checked, they had offices in at least 7 parallel realities, each with slightly different filing systems and an interdimensional water cooler. Another alert sounded, this one accompanied by a small quantum light show. Oh, wonderful news, Zixtal exclaimed. The quantum-enhanced cooking show just successfully created a soufflé that exists in all possible states of perfection simultaneously. Though we may need to update the safety protocols. Apparently observing it too closely can cause temporary enlightenment and an inexplicable craving for quantum-enhanced hot dogs. Kallax's antennae drooped. You finally found out what hot dogs are made of, didn't you? Unfortunately, yes. Though I must say the quantum version is much more interesting. Technically, it both is and isn't made of, well, better not to get into that. The important thing is that they taste good in all possible realities simultaneously. The junior trader raised their hand again. Is it true that the humans have started using quantum technology for dating apps? Oh yes. Quantum Cupid is quite popular. It matches you with your perfect partner across multiple dimensions. Though we did have to add a warning label about the possibility of falling in love with yourself from an alternate reality. The paperwork for that is complicated. Kallax looked like they were developing a quantum headache. Please tell me we at least haven't given them access to the quantum meme generator? Actually, about that, Zixtal began, but was interrupted by every screen in the office suddenly displaying what appeared to be a cat existing in multiple states of humor simultaneously, accompanied by text that somehow managed to be both hilarious and physically impossible. That's it, Kallax declared. I'm taking a vacation, a nice, normal vacation. Somewhere simple and predictable, like the core of a neutron star. Oh, you might want to check the quantum travel brochures first, Zixtal suggested. The humans have started offering multi-dimensional vacation packages, very reasonable prices, though the travel insurance gets a bit complex when you're visiting 3 versions of the same beach simultaneously. The junior trader's communicator chimed one final time. They read the message and their antennae went completely straight. The humans have just proposed something called Quantum Social Media Influencer Academy. There was a moment of perfect silence, broken only by the sound of Kallax's head hitting their desk, and Zixtal's excited squeal of, "Think of the marketing possibilities!" Somewhere in the distance, a quantum-enhanced cat video went viral across 17 dimensions simultaneously. A quantum cheerleading squad accidentally proved the existence of a 12th dimension through the power of synchronized dance, and a cooking show host created a dish that tasted like tomorrow's memories. Just another day in the quantum-enhanced human world. The end, or the beginning, or possibly both, depending on your quantum state of observation.